Good morning, students. We are going to start our lesson from page number 27. Already we have started geography and we are in the chapter of climate. In previous lesson we had learned about the climate, weather, and we had seen that how India is having a vast diversion for precipitation and of temperature. Then also we comes under the monsoon type of climate. Then we had seen that how this name was given to us. Today we are going to see the climate controls or the factors which control the climate. Okay. Then here I am going to read the paragraph for you. There are 6 major controls of the climate of any place. They are latitude, first altitude, then latitude, then pressure and wind system, distance from the sea, then ocean currents and relief features. So before I start this, I had said you to go through with the things which is explained here, because I can't explain all the terms easily, but I try to give you a visual sight of this. Okay, that's the main reason why I am giving you this PPT. Okay, so first is your altitude. You all know that we are having an imaginary line called longitudinal lines and latitudinal lines. So we can say that Earth is a spherical, round structure, and at the pole area we can say that the solar radiation is very less, but at the equator zone the solar radiation was very fast, or we can say photo time period was avail. Okay, so we can say that because of the curvature or because of the spherical circle, the radiation or the photo periods was different in different areas, such as in equator it is a good photoperiodic time, but at the polar zone it's reduced its photoperiodic time, or we can say solar energy receives very less in that. So as one goes from equator to polar, the difference in the temperature he can feel, and we also know about this. So second is your altitude. Altitude means the height. Okay, height from the sea level. We had seen that Himalayas are having snow bounded. Then why Himalayas are having snow bounded even though it is not in the fridge zone? Because of its height or its elevation. So when the things elevated, or when the things is having high heights, so because at that area the atmospheric conditions totally changes and the temperature decreases. But if we go to a higher position in the another layer of the atmosphere and the upper layer of the atmosphere, the temperature again raise. Okay, that all you have studied in atmospheric condition. So here we can see in the hilly area the things are very cool during the summer, and almost every hilly area is having a we can say cool temperature. This is not because of the curvature, it is only because of the altitudes. Okay, then next portion comes that pressure. So pressure of the winds, we all are having, or we all need the pressure of the air. That's why we are standing on the earth's surface. Either if the pressure of air was removed, we will be floating over the things. So this pressure makes us to have that stability in our body. So we can see that whether the pressure of the wind can be seen in the altitude and latitude places, and it influences the temperature and rain pattern. Then we can see the distance from the sea increase the moderating influence. So already I had explained about that moderation and extreme climate, so I won't go much for this. So we can see as we go interior to the we can say interior from the sea level to land areas, we found that the condition was extreme weathers. Okay, that also affect the climatical condition. Lastly but not leastly, the thing is that relief and oceanic current. We all know that our earth is revolting, and we can say it is taking revolution also. So because of this speed activity of earth, the liquid, we can say ocean, has its own current system. In this current system, from equator, if the oceanic currents are flowing, they are having hot water or hot current system. But from polar zone or the fridge zone, when the water is circulated or oceanic water is circulated to the other part of the world, it is we can say cool and froze out. So this was the things which affect the local areas or the coastal belts of any area. Last is the relief, that is the features of earth form. In India, we have seen that we are having mountains, then we are having different land masses such as desert and other things. So because of that relief, if the flatland is there, if mountains are there, deserts are there, they also have different kind of climatical, or we can say weather pattern. That's why the mountains are having cold barrier winds, and the deserts are having hot windy areas. Then this affect the some areas are very barren, they are not having trees or moisture in their areas, so the land bearing winds just push up to us, and it create the leeward side of the mountain. Leeward side means in the mountainous area, one side is receiving heavy rainfall, but the another side was having the deficiency of the rainfall. So that was the thing, or it was always remaining dry. That was the thing, is called the leeward sides, okay, of any area or mountain. So we can see this all things are the issue which control the climate. But these are the issues, six major climatical control system which affect in the world seasons, or we can say world climate. But now we are going to see what are the major things which affect the Indian climate. So the factors affecting the Indian climate we are going to see. The first is your altitude. Although I had explained you about this, that what is altitude. So earth is having imaginary line. In the first chapter we learned about the equator, 23 and a half degree at the tropical zone, then upper areas also. So because the Tropic of Cancer passes through from the mid of the India, and we can say mid of the country, from run of the Kutch and to west of the Mizoram east area, the India is bisected into half almost, we can say. And in the downside we have seen that from 8 degrees we can say 8 degrees it starts to move upside our Indian landmass. So that was the equatorial zone. And equatorial zone, we can see that temperature is very high. That's what the peninsular India received the high photo periods. But as we move towards in the tropical zone, we are having good solar radiations. But as we move towards the subtropical climate, that is our area, or we can say Delhi and Delhi to Jammu Kashmir, the things are totally changing. Okay, so we can see that the subtropical too, we are having topical, and we are having Andaman Nicobar and another southern areas with the equatorial climate. This is all we can say favorable, as well as it affect the Indian climate. So now we are going to see the altitudes. Altitudes means height, or we can say elevation in the relief feature. India has mountains to the north which have an average height of about 6,000 meter. India also has a vast coastal area where the maximum elevation is about 30 meter. So here we can see that India is having how mountainous peaks. That's why it is in these areas the wind is colder, and we can see that they are act or react like a frozen zone. Although we are not in that area, it's having we can say snowfall, it's having the climate and the vegetation of that kind of system. So here we can see this these areas not only in Himalayas but in subcontinental area and southern India also we are having some mountainous area, and that also experience the we can say cooler areas, or the we can say chilling places, and that attract the tourists there and the people also. So this is what the subcontinent experience the mild wind as compared to the Central Asia. That's why we are having a little bit cooler, and we are having a protective climate because of the mountainous area in the Himalaya. If Himalaya is not standing in the north of India, our clouds can pass through the Central Asia, and the hot current of the winds of Central Asia will easily move towards the India. That was the benefit for the Indians. Now we are going to see the pressure and the wind. In this pressure and the wind, we are going to see the climate and associated weather condition in India is governed by the following atmospheric pressure condition. Then here we have to see the pressure of the wind is always relaying over the 3 points. This is the pressure and the surface wind. This is mostly breeze, we can say. We feel in our body that our humid airs is there, or breeze are there, or we can say chilled air currents which we feel always. It is the pressure and the surface wind which flow over the earth's surface or earth crust. Okay, then the upper air circulation, and we can see the upper air circulation means it is at the high atmospheric areas where the jet stream flow. The area current in this area the wind current is very high at the high elevational areas, and most of you when you visited Himalaya, or when you visited Abu somewhere, you found that some effect on your ear, like it sound like that, and we feel that in our ears some voice of the some sound of the wind is some like, so like this kind of voice are always flowing there. And it is not only that, it can be much higher air pressure at air circulation at that places. So now next comes the western cyclonic disturbance and the tropical cyclone. You all know about cyclones. Most of the time you heard in the news that India had dashed with the Katrina cyclone or some other cyclone. So in the we can say in the eastern zone, eastern coastal belt was cyclone prone zone. Western cyclone disturbance and a tropical cyclone was famous in this area. And these winds always have we can say it poke its nose, or it disturb our climatical feature because of the air pressure reduce and the vacuum create in our land areas. So these cyclones come and they had a devastating effect over the areas where it dash out. So in our northern hemisphere, we can see the equator or close to the equator, the things are totally different, and this cyclonic wind current was always, we can say, change the air circulation or change the climatical system, so that it can be, we can say, it can have the disturbance in that area. So there was another thing also, that is, we can say, a special force, this force which changed the earth because of the change of the rotation. In this, we can see that, okay, the air circulation which blow towards and get the defect to the right due to the collisational force and move towards the equator, rho plus pressure area. Whenever the jet stream or the streams which flow towards the areas, we have seen that these things were, you can see now, these things were defected because you have, maybe you have studied in your physics that collisational forces it create due to the magnetic effect. Earth react like a magnet, true magnet, because we are having north and south pole, and earth is having a attractional point of its own. So whenever the wind blows in the earth's surface, it was due to this force and due to the deduction of it, jhatka, we can say, okay, of it, this currents or this air currents slowly defect to the right side, and it's having, and the move towards the equatorial low pressure, and when it deducted or it have the change in the rotation, it slowly move towards the equatorial low pressure area. When the low pressure area sucks the air, it is just introduce, it suck, it just want to snacks out the things. So slowly this move, this air was defect and just moved towards this side. Generally these winds carry little moisture, and when we can understand that when the wind current flow from land to oceanic area, it is not having much air, and when it is not having much air, it won't bring the moisture, and it won't have the, we can say, clouds on it, and that's why it is not, we can say, it is not a rainy, windy areas, or it is not having the content of, we can say, this cloud and all. So the air pressure, next paragraph, we are going to see, the pressure and the wind condition over the India are unique. Please grow with the lesson book. Okay, you can listen me, and you can see the lesson in the mobile also, but always take a pencil and sit in the class so that you can underline the things. So the pressure and the wind condition over the India are unique. Why then it is unique? So that is the major thing, it's coming, so please underline it. During the winter there is a high pressure area north of the Himalayas, okay, then cold and dry wind blow from this region to the low pressure area over the ocean to the south. Then here you can see that wind condition in the India, why it is monsoon or monsoon, because we have seen that it is a reversible wind current. So in the summer we can say it's totally changed out. When in winter we have seen that it is moving from land to oceanic area, and in land we are having Himalaya and the coldest zones, so it brings the Sheet Lahar or Himalaya, and in our land we are having better, we can say, high pressure area, and we are having an ample of air pressure. But in the lower area, in the oceanic area, there was low or there is low pressure area. So these high pressure area, it is similar like water, as water flow from height to the lower area. Similarly, air flow from high pressure to the low pressure area. Okay, so we can see then this in the low pressure area, it is flow from high pressure area to the low pressure area, and it vacuumize or it just fill the area of the ocean. But in summer, the things are totally different. It starts to react in the different form. In summer, the low pressure area started to develop in the Asian age zones, and specifically in the northwest India, northwest apna wala ilaka. Okay, so northwest area means Rajasthan, UP, Punjab, and these areas are having low pressure. Already you can you had feel that, because in summer we all feel much humid, much dry, and we need water, and sometimes it is very hard to breathe also. It looks like that today the air current is very low and no breeze, nothing. The air is just emptied the place. And next, and maybe next or after 24 hours, you found that just we can say a deserty area, or the loo, or we can say dust, a heavy dust cyclone comes with a little rain shower, and it just affect the area's temperature, and it low down the local our area's temperature. That's all the remedy which the temperature, or which we can say the climate, or we can say our local area have, or air pressure can play with the atmosphere. Okay, then again we will go to lesson. Then this cause a complete reversal of the direction of wind during the summer. So this was the reason. Then air moved from the high pressure area of the underlying करते जाएं over the southern Indian Ocean in a southeasterly direction. So now it just moved from the high pressure area from the southern ocean. So here I used to give an example to all the 90s who studied from me. I used to tell them the equator is nothing else, just imagine it is the industry which make the cloud. Okay, in the equator, ample of the photo energy, or we can say light energy, is coming, and that's why the water was heated. You all know about the water cycle. So water was heated, and water makes this moisture, or this evaporated water condensed, and it make here the ready we can say clouds are there. But when the southern from the southern Indian Ocean, the air flow towards the Indian peninsular area, it just blow out, it take the cloud with it, and when it entered the Indian subcontinent, the southwest monsoon was struck in India. Okay, or was, or is, I must say is, because we are facing this climate today also. Okay, this wind blow over the warm ocean, gather the moisture, bring the widespread rainfall over the mainland. Okay, I think you are with me and you are getting the lesson properly, and be aware that you have to give me two questions. One is the difference between the climate and weather. Another thing is that what is monsoon and why Arabs call this like that monsoon. Then another thing is the factor affecting the Indian climate. You have to explain all the factors in a very natural system. Then not the last but least, and the thing is that you have to write a short note over the things which happen during summer in India. Okay, during summer in India, it is in your page number 28 and mid part of the paragraph. So that's all for today. I spoke in English. I think you will be better enjoying this. If you are having any problem, I will try to mingle with both languages if it is needed. But I think it is better to go with one language. Okay, have a nice day. Take care.